Hello, Pinecrest Panthers. This is Miss Cora, back with your grammar activity for the week. And this week we are working on pronouns. Make sure you're in your Connect Ed and open up the app that says Grammar Activities, Possessive Pronouns. Select the word that best completes the sentence. The eagle spread blank wings as it soared to the sky. Our options are the eagle spread their, Their, wings as they soared to the sky, or the eagle spread their, They', wings as they soar to the sky, or the eagle spread its wings as they soar to the sky. Our last option being the eagle spread its It', wings as they soar to the sky. And yes, you guessed it, the correct answer is their, Their. The eagles spread their wings as they soar to the sky.
Excellent work.
Let's move on to number 2 with our possessive pronouns. Select the word that best completes the sentence. The birdhouse at the end of the road is my. The birdhouse at the end of the road is mine. The birdhouse at the end of the road is its. The birdhouse at the end of the road is your. Our correct option is, yes, you guessed it, the birdhouse at the end of the road is mine.
Great job.
Moving on to our third question. We work hard to keep blank lake clean. We work hard to keep ours lake clean. We work hard to keep theirs lake clean. Or we work hard to keep our lake clean. Last option being, we work hard to keep their lake clean. The correct option is, yes, you guessed it, we work hard to keep our, O-U-R, lake clean.
Great job.
We're just going to do one last question, and the rest you will do on your own independently. Many saltwater fish spend blank lives in the ocean. Many saltwater fish spend their lives in the ocean. Many saltwater fish spend our lives in the ocean. Many saltwater fish spend its lives in the ocean. Or many saltwater fish spend their, Their, lives in the ocean. And yes, you guessed it. Many saltwater fish spend their, Their, lives in the ocean.
Fantastic.
Now that we're doing such a fantastic job, we're going to switch over to our next activity, which is our vocabulary activity for the week. Here we are in our vocabulary practice. You have out your Wonders Reading or Writing Workshop book. It looks like this. Turn to your vocabulary page on page 278. Our vocabulary words for the week are absorb, affect, circulates, conserve, cycle, glaciers, necessity, and seeps. And from the previous lesson, you've already studied and understood what your vocabulary words mean, so this should be very easy for you to finish. Directions say, choose a vocabulary word that goes with the definition. Our definition here, pictured with an image, is large masses of ice in cold regions. Would that be effect, materials, glaciers, or a category? If we check in our book, we will see on page 279 that it describes glaciers as huge. Glaciers made of thick ice can be found in freezing waters. What would happen if the glaciers melted? So from that, we know that our answer is, yes, you guessed it, glaciers.
Good job.
All right, moving on to our next response. That was cute. Soak up. Choose a vocabulary word that goes with the definition. I'm going to check in my vocabulary book on page 278. I see that there's a lady who's actually spilled a cup of her coffee, and she's using a sponge, and it shows a sponge will absorb or soak up the spilled coffee. So here are my options for my vocabulary choices. The soak up means separate, maximize, cycle, or absorb. I'm looking in my vocabulary book, and I know the answer is absorb.
Good job.
All right, we're going to do one more of those together. Series of events that happens one after another in the same order. So, what would that be? Would that be a cycle, effect, separate, or glaciers? Checking in my vocabulary book, I know that it says, when the dryer completes its cycle, I will remove the clothes. I'm going to take a guess and say that the series of events that happens one after the other in the same order would have to be a cycle.
Good job.
We're doing such an excellent job that we're going to move on into our small group work for the week. We're reading a leveled reader. Our reading will be right here. We're going to go with the on-level reader, and our story this week is called The Delta. Let's see what The Delta is about. I'm going to click on the book, The Delta, and follow along with my presentation. So what are the things that we're doing this week? We're reviewing a certain type of genre. Our genre is expository text, and we'll know that from looking at the top of this book where it says expository text is our genre. Our book is titled The Delta by James McNaughton. Let's go ahead and click and open the book. Here are some questions that we're going to make sure that we're thinking about as we read through The Delta. All right, our comprehension strategies, as we learned from our previous video, is we're going to learn to summarize. Summarize is just taking those key details and putting them together and taking a short summary to decide what this book is mainly about. Also, our skill this week is understanding the author's point of view. When we try to understand the author's point of view, we're trying to get into the shoes of the author. There's our vocabulary that we just previewed, which is absorbs, affect, circulates, conserve, cycle, glaciers, necessity, and seep. And our content standards this week correlate with our Earth and space science. Opening up our book, we will see a few pictures that help us visualize what our story is about. If you're looking at the left bottom hand corner during the introduction, we see an image of the Mississippi River and the Delta region. And we're talking about natural resources. So when we discuss natural resources, of course, we're going to be discussing what? The water. So here, let's read through this together. The mighty Mississippi River is famous all over the world. It is the largest river in North America, and over many years, it has created a unique region called the Mississippi Delta. A delta usually means land that has been built up at the mouth of a river. The Mississippi Delta is much bigger than this. It is a vast plain created by flooding. It covers more than 3 million acres across 7 states, from Illinois all the way to the Gulf of Mexico. The Delta region has rich natural resources. Food is grown on the fertile river plains. Its oils and natural gas provide fuel for domestic energy. So this week, our central question is, why are natural resources valuable? So here, we're talking about some of our natural resources. And if we just read on page 2, it says the Delta region has rich natural resources. Food is grown on its fertile river plains. Its oil and natural gas provide fuel for domestic energy. I want you to think about what are the two, possibly three natural resources that were listed in those 3 paragraphs. Well, we know one is water, another is oil, and also natural gas. These are all things that are essential to our environment and are very valuable in our world. So, since I've read most of the preview with you, we're going to preview through this book, noticing the vocabulary and the visual images that help us understand the power of water, as well as the river's bounty, the formation of our oil and gas, and why it's so important to protect our natural resources. In Chapter 3, we'll read about protecting the Delta, the importance of the Mississippi River, and finally, our conclusion. I want you to take 10 to 15 minutes to read this book, reread it, find the vocabulary that is important in our weekly vocabulary unit, which again is absorb, affect, circulates, conserve, cycle, glaciers, necessity, and seeps. You will definitely find these words in our leveled reader this week for you to get a greater understanding of why our natural resources are essential and valuable to us. Here at the reading, I do want you to take a minute to create a summary of the important details from the Delta to summarize what you learned about the Delta region. You can use this graphic organizer as pictured here. Here, you would take details from every few pages of the story. Here, you will write the author's point of view. I want you to think of, why did the author write this story? Why was this important to the author? And how do you think the author feels about why our natural resources are important? That is it for today. I will see you next time. Bye.